Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician. Now, I've got a very important message for this YouTube video this evening. Um, these days, I haven't been like making videos like I used to make videos. There's certain reasons why. But for today, I've got a very important message to share, and I feel like it's one of those important messages to really learn. And the reason why I'm sharing this message is because I feel like within the world today and within society today, the word of this video really makes sense. So I want to get the message across within the video as best as I can. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this video. So this video is called The Spiritual Difference. Just going to repeat the title of this word, the title of this video, The Spiritual Difference. Now, this like I've shared in my previous videos and like I've been sharing on this new YouTube channel. Now, I'm not making this video for just like a not important reason, not important like sharing on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get the most important message across at the very beginning. The spiritual difference. Now, this is when the video gets simple for those viewers who want to help other people, give back, and make a difference. Now, before we get into the video, there's certain things we need to learn first. And as I am aware of these things that we need to learn first, it's important to learn this before we can make this spiritual difference. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to talk about it very briefly in this video because if I spend too much time, it comes across rude and it comes across ignorant. So that wouldn't be my intention to do that. I'm just trying to get something across very important in the video. So I want to get this in the video before we discuss the topic. Now, please just listen to this video as best as you can. That's my encouragement to the viewer. Now, within society today, within the world today, I've been talking about this for a number of years. I've been explaining this for a number of years. There's how can I describe it as a sort of word? There's so many human beings, and this is a very important message. There's so many human beings that are going through suffering. So I didn't say there's so many human beings that's got a successful business or a successful job or a wonderful family or a great volunteering opportunity or they're very rich and well off. I didn't say that in this message. I said in the message, there's so many human beings that are going through suffering, right? Now this isn't it's not a new topic to discuss. It's quite it's just one of those topics you need to learn within your life if you want to do what this video is talking about. Because there's so many people going through suffering, and I've said in my videos already, and I've said previously in videos, we don't have the answers to why people are suffering. We don't have the cure or the way to resolve what people are going through. We don't have the answers. There's no answers to why people are suffering. There's no answers to why this problem's going through. This person's going through that problem. That person's going through this problem. We need to learn through everyday life what to do, right? So if we learn through everyday life what we need to do, if there's millions, billions, thousands, hundreds of people going through suffering, then what's the important thing? If that is if that's what society is about at the moment, and that's what should I just say that's what life has been showing people majority of the time. People are suffering. What do you need to do to resolve that? Or is there any solution to it? Now, this becomes a very simple thing to learn. And I'm not saying it becomes a hard thing to learn. I'm not saying it becomes, you will be the inspirational ones. You will be the successful ones. You will be the prosperous ones. You will be the richer ones. You will have it all within your life. All those things are just, it's like, it's just words, isn't it? It means nothing. If millions, billions, thousands, and hundreds of people are going through suffering, then what do you need to do? You've got to help those people who are going through suffering. Now, it becomes the most simplistic thing in life, right? It becomes the most simplistic thing in life. It becomes simplistic, right? So if you help people in what they are going through, which is what you need to do in your life, right? Then you make a spiritual difference. So let's just repeat that. If you help other people in what they are going through, which is what you need to do in your life, then you make the spiritual difference. And in life, I'm very aware of what I do for a living, very aware of the people I support, very aware of the work I've been doing, very aware of what I've been sharing when I have the opportunities to share, and I'm very aware of what I need to do in my life as a human being because I learned this when I was younger. This video is something I've learned when I was younger. So for the viewer watching me and listening to the message, please understand I know what I am doing in my life. I get the importance of this. I sense it. I'm living it without my life. I'm trying to make the spiritual difference. Now for you, what do you need to do within your life? Make the spiritual difference. And the difference is what life is all about. People say, but it's your successful business. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's your successful career. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's your successful volunteering. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's your family and friends. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way you do things in your life. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way you have the achievements, the accomplishments, the successes, the prosperity, the riches. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way how you live your life. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way you do what you do in your life. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way you behave. That's what life is all about, isn't it? It's the way you do things. That's what life is all about, isn't it? That has nothing to do with the spiritual difference. When you see in society and when you see in the world that people are suffering, I didn't change the word when I'm saying this message. I didn't say that people are successful. I did not say that. I did not say that people are well off. I did not say that. I did not say that people are great, fantastic. I did not say that. I said, when you see within the world that people are suffering, they're going through feelings, emotions, challenges, life struggles, adversities, suffering, pains, hardships, challenges, difficulties, struggles. The list can go on with what people are going through. When you learn that, that's why I'm making this video tonight for anyone that's listening. When you learn that, when you really, really learn that, I didn't say when you learn that, you're going to be successfuler than most other people. You're going to be well off than most other people. You're going to achieve more than most other people. You're going to have more than most other people. You're going to achieve your dreams and desires than most other people. It's got nothing to do with that. Life is not about what you achieve, what you accomplish, your successes, your riches, your prosperity, the fulfillment and joy, the happiness and wonderfulness, the greatness, the wonderful thing your life is. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just, it's more of the difference you need to make, right? It's more of the difference you need to make. So it's not necessarily about your dreams and desires. It's not necessarily about who you become within your life. It's not necessarily about who the way you are, your successes, your prosperity and riches. That's got nothing to do with the spiritual difference you need to make within your life. The spiritual difference you need to make in your life is helping other people in what they are going through, supporting human beings with what they need help with, giving back and making some sort of a difference, contributing and serving another person, giving back and inspiring people's lives, spiritually changing and making a contribution. These are the spiritual differences you need to make. So many people. I'm sharing this video tonight for a reason. So many people do not understand the simplicity of the spiritual difference. You don't need money to do it. You don't need a business to do it. You don't need a career to do it. You don't need volunteering to do it. You don't need to achieve your dreams and desires to do it. You don't need to be well off to do it. You don't have to be a millionaire and a billionaire before you do it. It's got nothing to do with that. It's down to what spiritual difference you're going to make within your life. Now, people say that life is about giving, right? And it's about when you give, you receive. When you give, you receive, right? When you give, you receive, right? When you give, you receive, right? Okay, fine. If you're giving to helping other people and then receiving something, that's okay, right? Or do we have another way of viewing things? Another way of viewing things is not about necessarily giving. You're going to achieve more. You're going to have more dreams, more desires. You're fulfilling things within your life. You're becoming successful, isn't it? You're becoming well off, right? Those things, like I said before, they're not spiritual things, right? So it's not saying, oh, but I'm well off, I'm successful, look at me, I'm big, I'm I'm fantastic, I'm doing a lot in my life, oh man, yeah. Those are selfish things. Those are egotistical things. Those things are not the spiritual difference. Oh, but I'm successful. I'm the prosperous one, isn't it? No, I've got it all. You look at my family. Look at me. I'm big, isn't it? Oh man, look. No one cares about what you achieve, what your desire is, what your dreams are, what your motivations are, what your ambition is, who you become within your life, what things you're doing within. No one cares about that. It's not going to make you make a spiritual difference and a spiritual contribution. The spiritual difference and the spiritual contribution becomes more important. But I'm the successful one in life. Look at me. I'm the richer one in life, you know. Oh, look at me, you know. Oh, I'm big, isn't it, right? No one is concerned with the big egotism. No one is concerned with yourself. No one is concerned what you achieve, who you become, the difference that you're making to your friends and your loved ones and your family. No one cares about that, right? It's not a discussion to talk about. It's not something to worry about. It's not something to spend your, and the word I'm using very carefully, it's not something to spend your life worrying about, right? So what do you need? It goes back to what I said in the very beginning of the video, right? What do you need to do within your life? And what you need to do within your life is help other people in what they are going through. Support another person in what they are experiencing. Help people who cannot help themselves. Support someone who is going through a challenge, going through an adversity, going through a crisis, going through some suffering, going through some pain, going through some adversity, going through some challenges, really finding life very difficult. Help those people, right? Now, I'm sharing this message for an important reason. People look at life as, you know, I'm going to be the successful one. Have got the partner, I've got the spouse, I've got the husband and the wife and the children, I've got the bigger career, I've got the biggest business, you know, I've got a massive volunteering opportunity, you know. I'm really well off within my life. I've achieved a lot. Yeah, I could say, look, I've achieved a lot, isn't it? I've got what I need in my life, isn't it, right? I'm very well off within my life, isn't it, right? I'm achieving my dreams and desires within my life, right? But when you think about that, when you live your life like that, when you behave like that, it's always focused on yourself. Even if you do have a partner, even if you do have a spouse, even if you do have children, you're still focused on what you can probably become within your life, what dream and desire you can fulfill within your life, because it's based on yourself and your selfish motives. That's how life for millions of people are, because they're so selfish. All they do is think about themselves. That's all they do. They just think about themselves. I'm gonna be the richer one. But it's not. It's not important. I'm trying to get this message across today. The spiritual difference becomes the most important thing. Your life is not about necessarily who you become and achieving your dreams and desires and becoming more joyful and happier and becoming more successful and richer and achieving prosperity and riches and wealth. It's got nothing to do with that. Those are selfish, egotistical things. People laugh at the simplicity of this message. They laugh at it. They say, "Well, you know what? Why would I make a spiritual difference? Why would I want to support people anyway? They've done nothing for me. You know, why? Why would I? Why would I want it? You don't get to see the rewards of your life if you don't make a difference to somebody else. That's why it's not about who you become. Because if you think about who you become, that becomes an egotistical thing. If you think about what difference you make, that becomes a selfless thing. So what's important? Is it important to boost your ego? Is it important to go, I've got the family, I've got the friends, I've got the relationships, I've got this, I've got that? Is that what's important, or is there something more to life that we're missing out on? And for me, to someone to say in this video today, I think within life there's something that we're missing out on. And the something that we're missing out on is the spiritual difference. Not your becoming, not your successes, not your prosperity, not your riches, not all of that. And the list goes on to what people normally live their life like, right? But there's something we're missing out on is the spiritual difference. You learn it in some part of your life to make a difference. And if you don't learn it in some part of your life to make a difference, what does it mean? It means you make no spiritual contributions. Spiritual contributions is not for money. Spiritual contributions is not for a house. Spiritual contributions is not for a car. Spiritual contributions is not for the self. Spiritual contributions is the work you do for helping other people. The message that I've got in this video is very simple, and this helps the video for this evening. And then, I think I should start finishing up the video. Spiritual change makes you make a spiritual difference. Now, I've said in my previous videos, I'm not going to tell a person how to spiritually change. There might be techniques, there might be ways of doing that, right? Which, that's understandable, right? You can't tell a person how to spiritually change because I've always said that's down to the person. It's down to the individual, right? Because you can't tell a person how to spiritually change, that means they may not make their spiritual contribution. If you don't make your spiritual contribution, you haven't gone through a process of spiritual change. Let's repeat that. If you don't make a spiritual contribution, you haven't gone through the process of spiritual change. So people say, but my dreams and my desires, okay. People say, but my family and friends, okay. People say, but my career, my business, and my volunteering, okay. People say, but my successes, my achievements, my accomplishments, okay. You can have all that, which is fine. I have nothing against it. That doesn't mean you've gone through the process of spiritual change. Because when you spiritually change, your life should be focused on others. And if your life is focused on others, that's where the spiritual difference is. When your life is focused on others. If your life is not focused on others, then it means it's not. Look, it's not rude to say this in the video. I've met people like this. I've worked with people like this. Right? I'm not saying anything new to the viewer that you don't already know. You probably do know this. People think about themselves all the time. That's that's how their life is, right? So if people think about themselves all the time, oh, but I had this problem and then I need to resolve it. This happened in my marriage and my relationship. This happened to me when I was younger. That's what I was going through at this time in my life. Oh, I was going through university and college and then this happened. Oh, this is a situation that happened for me. Oh, but there's never an end to how many people are going through suffering and pain and adversity. There's never an end to it. It's always going to happen, right? What can you do to prevent that? You can't change that because it will happen in people's lives. And then the questions of their problems, the circumstances, how to support them, what best things to do for them. What can you do to prevent that? Can't change it, but what can you do to prevent it? This takes learning. Everything starts from learning, right? So this takes learning. Life becomes more simple when you learn things about helping others, right? When you learn things about helping others, you're learning things about yourself. No one really teaches that in their videos and their messages. They normally say, but achieve the business, get money, get a friend, get a family member, get a relationship, go on holidays, travel, eat, drink, socialize. Okay, fine. When we spend the time in learning about helping other people, when would you spend the time in learning about yourself? When would you spend the time? When would you spend the time? When would you spend the time in learning something that will help you to make a spiritual difference? That's a question that I'll leave to the viewers. So my message is simple for this evening, and the spiritual change helps to make spiritual differences. If you want to, I'll put it to you this way in the video because I have shared my message, and I know my message has come across rude, and like I said earlier, if I go too deep into it, it may come across ignorant. But there's nothing ignorant about helping other people. There's nothing rude about helping other people. There's nothing. It's not rude. It's quite a good thing to do for others, right? So the important thing is the spiritual difference. If you make a spiritual difference, I don't just say like what other people would normally say, help other people, build communities, build a church, build a mosque, build a temple, build a school. Those are part of things you can do. If you choose to do that or not, I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. You need to change yourself before you get the opportunities to do spiritual differences. Spiritual changing yourself, that's a hard thing to do, right? And if it's a hard thing to do, why can't people teach it? Because it's a change of yourself. If you change yourself, and this becomes it's like a topic altogether. This could be discussed in thousands and hundreds of videos, right? But the simplicity is if you change yourself, and I can't tell a person how to change. I can encourage little things, maybe start journaling, maybe start being in nature, maybe start being a vegetarian, maybe start being a vegan, maybe start meditating or doing mindfulness, maybe start praying and doing prayer. You can say things to people, maybe start walking. You can say things to people, but at the end of the day, when are you going to do it? So like I said, you can say start meditating, start doing mindfulness, start doing prayer, start walking, start journaling, start being a vegetarian, start being a vegan. Uh, you can mention these things, but when are people going to do it? So the question is, which is the most important question, how do you live your life making spiritual contribution? That's the most important question. And how you live your life making spiritual contributions is a simple answer to that question. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be, oh, but you're as a young person, you're the most successful. I'm nothing. I'm just someone that's making a difference and a contribution. Goes back to my video. So what's the simplicity of it? Help other people in what they're going through. Support someone with what they need help with. Help someone who can't help themselves. That's not saying you're going to change all these people because you can't do that. Even the work I do, still to this day, doesn't mean I'm going to change all these people just because I'm helping them. You have to make the decision. But what you can do is encourage, which you can. What you can do is inspire, which you can. What you can do is motivate, which you can. Each individual, because obviously, look, think of life like this. I'm just gonna share this before I end the video. I'll just something so simple, but I'll share it. Think of life like this. If you don't change, then nothing in your life changes. If you don't learn, then you don't develop the skills and abilities you need to learn. If you don't understand, then you wouldn't understand the complexities of life. If you don't find a way to resolve your ongoing issues, you can't resolve ongoing issues for people. So everything comes down to who you're going to, how you're going to change. People don't talk about that. Like I said earlier, they normally talk about friends, relationships, family, holidays, business, volunteering, career, socializing, gatherings, meetings. The list goes on with what people talk about. They never talk about what change you have to go through. What change you have to go through. How are you going to change? They don't talk about that. People say, but obviously inspiring lots of people. You have to change yourself at the end of the day. But no one can tell you how to change yourself. No, there's no book that can be written that will give you the answers to that question. There's nobody can give you the answer. It's something you find within yourself, and that's down for every individual. You know, at the end of the day, the important thing is the spiritual difference. So, message is simple. Normally I don't make videos these days. It has been a very long time since I made a video, but I just felt that this message was so important. So my message is simple again. If you want to help other people, which I'm not saying that. Look, I have no reason to say, oh, but if, for example, if I had a career in, like, I don't know, if I had a career in food or fashion or, I don't know, construction or, I don't know, like, education or, I can't change still. There's no way for me to change that and do something else in my life. Maybe you can change that. Maybe you can learn something new. Maybe you don't have to do the same work you've been doing for 20 to 30 years, if that's what you choose. Everything comes down to a choice and a decision that you need to make, not for your family, not for your partner, not for your friends, not for your loved ones, not for your children, but for you. What change are you going to make for you? That's why this message is very simplistic. It's very simplistic. All I'm encouraging is, like I said, I can't tell a person how to spiritually change. I refuse to do that, and that will take a long time to discuss that. I just refuse to do that. But what I can encourage is the inspiration and helping other people. Uh, think about others more than yourself. Think about what difference you can make to people's lives, what impact you can have. And then the question that comes when I say this at the very end of the video is what legacy you're going to leave behind. But I haven't discussed that just yet. I'm going to discuss it now, please. What legacy you're going to leave behind? Though you know that life is always moving into the future, don't people know that we're all eventually going to die? Don't people know that your life is very short? It's not forever. No human being gets to live to 1,000 years. It's not going to happen. No human being gets to live to millions of years. It's not going to happen. No human being gets to live to billions of years. It's not going to happen. So if we're all eventually going into the future anyway, which is going to happen whether you like it or not, because this is life, isn't it? How you live your life day to day matters. What you do in your day to day life matters. How you behave in your day to day life matters. What what are you doing for others matters. There's one example I use when I get this across in my videos, and this is the example I use, right? So I use the examples of. I'm not gonna talk about this too much in this video. I think it is appropriate, but I don't want to confuse the message at all. Thinking about the lives of Jesus Christ and Buddha, right? Buddha was a human being. Jesus Christ was the Son of God, right? When you think about these two people and the legacy they've left behind, because Jesus is still alive in spiritual terms, and Buddha, he passed away um, in the distant past, right? But the legacies they've left behind, right? So, when you think about Jesus, you think about his ministry, right? You think about the people he healed, the lives he saved, salvation he gave to people, the spirituality he gave into the world, what we're meant to do within our lives. He gave it to us, right? Because he's the Son of God. You think about Buddha, you think about his work, right? Helping his disciples, helping his communities, teaching the Buddhist religion, helping humanity find enlightenment. So whether you think about it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you pay attention to learn it or not, it's down to the individuals. What legacy are you going to leave behind? No one lives forever. We are all. It's a very hard thing to learn. I'm not trying to scare the viewers with this message. I'm just trying to get the message across the best way I can, which is we're all destined to die. It's part of our destiny. It's part of our life. No human beings have ever passed that. It's going to happen, right? So it goes back to what I said earlier. How you live your life day to day matters. What you do, how you spend your time, what you do day to day, how you live your life. We're all going to the future, whether you like it or not. It's part of our life. We all are. Every human being is. But what you leave behind gets remembered. And the people that left the biggest contribution behind are Jesus Christ and Buddha, because their lives are part of our civilization today. In majority of these people, in majority of people's lives, what they left behind. Jesus Christ will come back. So how you live your life now means how you live your life in future self. You are. If you don't live your life, which I'm not telling a person how to live their life, because that's not my place to do that. I'm not telling a person you have to follow this video to figure it out. Not telling a person, oh, but you can be successful, you can be rich. in life, there's all different paths. There's no right path or wrong path. There's all you've got thousands and millions of different paths to choose in life, which you do. You've got to choose what path is right for you. Some people chose family, okay. Some people chose business, okay. Some people chose career, okay. Some people chose volunteering, okay. Some people chose travel, okay. Some people chose socializing, okay. There's no, there's no right or wrong path to it. What matters is how you live your day to day life. What matters is your living, not your success, because that's part of if you get it or not. Not your prosperity, because that's part if you get it or not. Not your accomplishments that might happen for you, might not. Your living. Your living is the thing that's meant to change. You can't tell a person how to live. I'll repeat that again before we finish. You can't tell a person how to live. They choose it in their life or not. All you can do is inspire, motivate, and encourage. So it's up to you, there, viewers, what you want to do in your life. Do you want to help other people and give back and make a difference? Do you want to be people that say, you know what, I made a spiritual contribution, I made a difference? Do you want to be someone that goes, do you know what? I've lived my life. I've done what I can in my life. I've lived to the best of my abilities, my skills, my knowledge, my wisdom, my encouragement, my motivation, and I'm leaving a legacy behind. Or do you want to be someone that goes, I didn't do anything, didn't achieve much, didn't have anything, didn't achieve my dreams and desires or anything like that. I didn't go for it. I just walked through life and that was about it. All this is part of life. So you've got to make a choice and decision, isn't it? What what choice and decision are you gonna make? Are you gonna make your spiritual difference or not? Are you gonna help other people or not? Will you give back or not? Will you make a contribution or not? Will you inspire or motivate or encourage or not? You can't tell people what to do. Each individual lives their life. So you can't. All you can do is find the path that is right for you. I wish I can tell you, viewers, which is the path that's right for you, but I can't do that. We're all living, so we're all having life, right? Breathing, living our life. I can't tell you, viewers, which is the right path for you. You will have to find that. You'll have to discover that. That's something I can't do for the viewers. You make your choices in life, you make your decisions in life. Choose the path that's right for you or not. Even down to learning when you choose the path that's right for you or not. That's something you still have to learn because you're meant to be learning every day. So just because you, for example, if you chose like I don't know a degree to study in and you went down that path of doing that degree, right? You still might want to do other things in your life. You may want to have a family, for example. You may want to travel. You may want to set up a business. So you have to make another choice and decision to do that. For example, if you work in a career, for example, you work in a career, been doing the career for years, you may want to settle down and be in a relationship and find love and find meaning in your children. There's no right or wrong way in viewing how to live. Living is the secret. How do you live? There's no one can tell you how to live because each person has to discover it for themselves. When you're, for example, when you're born into life, no one, there's no, what's the word for it? There's no, what's the word for it? There's no like manual that tells you, oh, do this, behave like that, treat people like this. Oh, don't do that. Please don't do this. Oh, don't live like that. Don't live like this. There's no menu to it. When you're born into the world, you learn every single day along the journey. So there's no manual that tells you what to do. Might be religious books, might be spiritual books. Okay, that's fine, but you're discovering it for yourself every day as you're living. So each day as you're living, you're making a choice and decision whether you acknowledge it or not. Are you making a choice and decision to contribute or not? Are you making a choice and decision to do something for others or not? Are you making a choice and decision to help your family and your loved ones or not? There's no right or wrong way for it because this is life. Life is how you make it. Life is what you make it. No one can tell you how to live your life or not to live your life. You are the author of your life. You are the author of it. No, there's no, oh, but you know what? This was the right idea, and that was the good thing to do. And there's none of that in life. You're free as a human being. When you're born as a human being, don't we appreciate that we're already free? Don't we appreciate that as a human being we're already free? You don't need to do anything as a human being. You don't need to pursue things as a human being. When you think about it, when you're born, all this is what you're choosing to do in your life. Don't you pay attention to what life is showing you, right? You choose to eat the food you eat. You choose to socialize with who you want to socialize with. You choose to have a relationship with who you want to have a relationship with. You choose to live somewhere where you want to choose to live. It's all choices and decisions you're making every single day of your life. Some people may choose the path of just helping other people. Some people may not choose that path. But at the end of the day, it's down to your own personal choice and decision. That's why I can't tell you viewers what it should be for you and what it shouldn't be. I can't do that. That would be wrong of me to do that. Oh, you must follow my path. I am the inspirational one. I'm not the inspirational one. I'm just someone that's trying to help others. That's the path I chose. I'm not the inspirational one. If you got that. No, I'm just not. I really am not. So I think I've shared what I needed to share today, and this is a very important video, and it goes back to what I said in the very beginning before I shared, really, which is which is a very simple thing. Spiritual change means you'll make a spiritual contribution. You can't tell a person how to spiritually change. Can't tell a person what they should do in their life. You can't tell a person what is the right way, what is the constructive way, what is the prosperous way, what is the successful way. That's not that's got nothing to do with life. Life comes down to a simple thing. And this is the simple thing, and then I'll end the video after this. Life becomes simple the way you live it. All what we've been discussing now is just getting back to that point. Life becomes simple the way you live it. It doesn't get more simple than that. You can choose to help or not. You can choose to work or not. You can choose to volunteer. Life comes to the way you live it, to how you live in your life. What are you going to do in your life? Who are you going to be in your life? These are choices and decisions you will need to make. I want to share this just before we finish. Don't don't let somebody tell you what you need to do in your life because they can't do that for you, right? I'm not saying that people are not inspirational. I'm not saying that people are not motivational. They are, of course. You've got to choose what you eat. You've got to choose what you drink. You've got to choose when you rest. You've got to choose when you go out. You've got to choose when you work. You've got to choose when you socialize. You've got to choose it for yourself. If someone necessarily tells you what you should do in your life, then they've missed the point of their life because they're trying to elaborate something on you which isn't a part of you. Let me repeat that again before we finish. If someone tells you what you should do in your life because they just feel it's the right thing to do and they feel like you should do this, you've got to do this, you must do this, you have to do this is your path in life, this is what you need to do, then they're portraying their own life on you, which doesn't necessarily mean it's you. You're an individual first. You're a human being first before all the titles, jobs, volunteering, careers, family, friends, loved ones, companions. You're a human being first. So as a human being first, you've got to find your individuality. I didn't say something wrong there. As a human being first, you've got to find your individuality, who you are as a human being. That can link to spirituality for if you've learned enough and learned a lot. Being an individual first is what it takes to then help people what they're going through. You've got to be an individual first before you can help other people what they're going through. If you don't be an individual first, then you'll go through your challenges and difficulties and not know how to resolve it. You'll go through your suffering and your pains and not know how to deal with it. You'll struggle and complain and moan to people and say, this person can't help me, I've got this problem. So you have to be an individual first. And what does it mean to be an individual first? Being an individual first means you've known yourself. This comes to the topic of the no self. I haven't discussed it in the video just now until this point. So when you've understood yourself as a human being, then you know yourself. That means no self. The words, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I think I've said the video for today, but just the importance of it. And the importance is this. Because most people live for themselves, right? I'm not. I refuse to be like one of those people that are like that. I refuse to tell another person how do you resolve those people's problems. I'm not going to do that because people live a life for themselves. Them. This organization's helping those people. That volunteer is helping those people. That charity is helping those people. That work is helping those people. This organization's helping these people. This is what's going on in those people's lives. This is how these people are living their lives. This is the situation in their lives. This is the problems within their life. This is the struggles that they're experiencing. These are the problems and the suffering and the emotions and the feelings that they're going through. This is the challenges and the difficulties and the struggles that they are going through. This is what's going on for them. This is their situation. These are their circumstances. This is what's happening to them. This is their life. They never discover the no self because the no self means there's no more self. That's the secret of that word. I'm not gonna go into it in this video. It'll be wrong for me to go into it in this video. I have made a video previously about it. The no self. There's no more self. And then when you discover the no self, that's where spiritual freedom is. Spiritual liberation. Spiritual freedom and spiritual liberation comes to those people that have known themselves. That's why within my videos and my content, I used to be very like saying I must tell you what to do there, viewers. You've got to follow my path in life. You've got to be like me. But life is different. Life doesn't work like that. Life normally works when you know who you are. You find your spirituality or your faith. Discover your spiritual life purpose, your spiritual calling. You find something that gives you meaning. You find something that gives you value. You find something that's important to you. Right? So life doesn't necessarily work for people who are living the South. So simply to get this message across, and I will finish the video after this. You live the South, you live a life for yourself. You live the no self, you live a life of selflessness, contributions. Which one do you want to choose? I'll repeat it one more time, but we'll finish after this. You live a life for the self, you live a selfish life. You live a life for the no self, you live a life of selflessness and spiritual contributions. So the question that I leave you at the end of this video is, which one do you want to choose? Life becomes simpler when you learn that. Self, the no self. The self has problems in it. The self has suffering in it. The self has pain in it. The self has adversity in it. The no self, spiritual freedom, spiritual change, spiritual liberation. You choose which one you want. You can't expect other people to choose it for you. Find out what gives you meaning there, viewers. Find out what helps you the most. Find out what's important to you. There's a saying that normally has been said in a lot of people's talks, which I will share at the very end. You've got to live your life when you're living a life doing what you want to do, doing what you're called to do, doing what is important to you. If you live a life doing what's important to you, what you're called to do, what's meaningful to you, then you find a spiritual liberation and spiritual freedom from that. That normally comes from a spiritual change. Spiritual change gives you liberation, freedom. You're able to live your life doing what you really want to do. That doesn't mean you don't work. That doesn't mean you don't have a business. It doesn't mean you don't have a volunteering. It doesn't mean you don't have a family. You may have this, of course. You've discovered the no self. You've discovered the spiritual liberation. You've discovered the spiritual freedom. You've discovered meaning and value. But the meaning and value, if you listen to this message today, comes from the spiritual difference. To the spiritual difference is where the meaning and value comes from. That is a spiritual thing. And just the last message in this audio, with this video today, actually, this last message before we finish. The no self is a life of contributions to others. The whole life is devoted to helping other people. in the no self, there's no such thing as self. You don't have the problems of what other people problems are. You don't have the concerns of what other people's concerns are. You don't have the challenges of what other people's challenges are. You don't have the insecurities, the frustrations, the bitterness, the anger, the resentment, the regrets, the struggles, the situations, the circumstances, the challenges, the difficulties. You don't have that. It's a life where you're free from that. You're free from all of it. That's not saying, you don't go through things, because we will go through things. It's not saying you wouldn't. You probably will. It just means you're spiritually free to do the spiritual difference. So the spiritual difference becomes the most important. I've finished my video for this evening. Thank you for listening. If you have up to this point, it's a long video. As always, help other people, give back and make some sort of difference. It's very important if you go on that path, if you choose it. Okay, thank you now. Take care now. Have a good evening now. Bye.